Greetings, one and all, from the White Mountains of Arizona. What a beautiful day today. Let me fill you in on the happenings around here. They were spraying the skies like their life depended on it leading up to the election. I mean, it was just a crisscrossed mess. Wind came in, and then around the time of the election, we had a pretty good snowstorm. Snow everywhere. This place was covered in snow. Obviously, they're trying to lower the vibration during the election time, trying to get us to fight. That's what they do. But since the election, they have stopped spraying, and now we are at 70 degrees. Yes, would you believe it? Snow one day, 70 degrees the next. Almost as if they're manipulating the weather. Anyway, probably sick of me talking about that. Today we're going to be talking about the Titanic. A lot of conspiracy theories surrounding this boat. Some people believe the boat was switched out. Some people believe it was sunk on purpose to take out some bankers who oppose the Federal Reserve. I don't know. We're going to find out today. We have these questions and more. And Tara is hanging on a ledge here. Look at that. Give you a little, set the scene here. It's a beautiful day. So yeah, we don't know who she's going to connect to. Possibly a person who died in the event. I don't know. Let me get into a good position here. Let me get her from below. Yes, get into this wash. We want to thank the Patreon and YouTube members for voting on this month's special channeling. They chose mermaids. So if you're not a Patreon or a YouTube member, you won't see that video for quite some time, but they're gonna learn about mermaids very soon. Oh, what a mess in here. So got a rat hut over here. That is a very small rat hut. They like to build their huts out of twigs from the local area. I imagine it's very warm in there, very well insulated. These guys are master engineers. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to survive these winters. When winter does come, it will get cold naturally. We feel like Gaia's doing her natural thing right now, but when she's naturally cold, she gets to like 4 degrees. It's the coldest we've experienced here, so got to do something. We just got some heating set up, so we're going to be ready for the winter. We also like to do some sword play to keep warm during the winter times. But right now, we're just loving this 70-degree weather. It's not going to last long, I don't think.
Okay.
All right. Who are you connected to?
The energy of the ship, the Titanic.
Okay. In a previous channeling, we learned that if enough people project their consciousness onto an inanimate object, such as the World Trade Center, then it can have consciousness. Is that the case here?
Yes.
So is the consciousness of the Titanic 3D?
.3D, but the people make it 4D.
So I'm speaking to a 4D consciousness.
Yes.
Okay. We know of the official narrative of the Titanic sinking. Can you give us details of what actually happened?
Everything was as it should. Leaving port. Going the route set forth. Moving. But they spoke. Something will be wrong in colder waters. Help will be far enough away. All evidence will sink. There was a breach. Set. Someone gave their life to set it. someone willing for some cause unknown made an explosion, and water rushed in. Not at first, for the explosion was not large enough, just enough to weaken her. Then plow it into ice in its most vulnerable spot. Accident, they say. Water, and it sinks.
So they did this to destroy evidence. Who is they and what was the evidence?
President, not speaking for himself, they say. The people behind the president, unknown. They have a devotee, somebody who works with the people you do not see behind the president. He said he would sacrifice himself for the cause to continue among the glorious. He thought he would set the charge on the ship, let go of the people working that sector. But he had access. No one would think anything of it. Set the charge. It exploded, but not enough. Wasn't meant to be enough. But in the explosion, he died. He did not want to drown. He knew it was coming. He wanted it to be quick, to go to the paradise land. They wanted the people who may expose the country, not just its financial system, for all it is. The people were aware, many lower decks, aware something is wrong. They knew that they would catch on. They must destroy all evidence, destroy all people. No one can go into the ocean. Too cold. Evidence will be destroyed.
Okay, so when you say they, we're talking about shadow governments beyond the president's control, and they wanted to destroy people who were going to expose the financial systems and more. So were these people against the creation of the Federal Reserve?
Yes, but some of these people were ancestors of Revolutionary War. Information passed down in their families. They were meant to keep an eye on the blossoming of the country. And when they see corruption, they were meant to notify the people, keep the entity government honest. They cannot have honesty. They feel this would create chaos and anarchy, another revolutionary war, kill descendants of revolutionary war.
Why not murder these people in their beds at home? Why take down this whole ship?
Focus, distraction, that something so great that people could come together and create something together, something to marvel at, and yet instill in people that we are vulnerable. All are vulnerable. At any moment, you could die. No one can protect you. Keep people in fear while they sign away the money of the people, creating laws while they mourn.
So this is the exact same energy as 9/11.
Yes, happens frequently.
So the Federal Reserve was created and they took us off the gold standard. Was that their goal, to manipulate the financial system? Was to remove our power and our sovereignty?
They say, they behind the president, they behind all leaders of the world, that power in the hands of the people is wrong, that the people cannot govern themselves. The people do not know what is best for them. The people could destroy those wishing to rule, take away their power. People have placed power in what they can exchange, whether it is paper currency or metal or any sort of good throughout history. People have already given their power away to one thing. Why not take away their power entirely?
So they wish to cripple us financially, which kind of destroys our sovereignty. And the Titanic was a way to not only kill the people who opposed it, but also instill fear in the people who might be sovereign.
The ship represents the people. They sunk the people. The people loved that ship because it did not represent government. It did not represent large business or corporation. It represented the working class. It represented people coming together despite their differences. Unity, that when people come together, they can create something unsinkable. Not the object itself, but will, human will. Power, energy working together. The ship was just a symbol. They wanted to sink human will, sink the people.
My intuition says we can regain our power by moving towards gold and silver ourselves. Is this a way to regain our sovereignty?
This is a step until eventually you realize you do not need the gold and silver. You do not need the paper. You do not need the government. You are the ship. But your ship is unsinkable. They used a tangible object to prove a point. But people are energy. Energy is unsinkable. You have given energy to the ship, so I speak. You created a soul where there was none.
Is it fair to say that James Cameron knows all this and is just a propagandist?
They all work together so that they can live a good life.
Wow, what they've done is pure evil. So what is the best way to oppose this evil and regain our sovereignty?
To realize if people could come together without government, without ruler, and create something so magnificent in your 3D, imagine what you could do with energy if you have given soul to a soulless ship. What else can you do? No ruler can take away your sovereignty unless you give it up. This is why so many feel a connection with the Titanic, a sorrow for people they never knew many years ago, because it represents something inside of them, not knowing if that can be destroyed too. It cannot.
Okay, so if gold and silver is the first step, what could you say is a second step towards regaining our sovereignty that we can do in this 3D realm?
Realize you are capable of all things. If you would like food, you can create it. If you would like shelter, you can create it. If you would like community, you can create it. You do not need anything to give you this permission. You have two hands. You have a mind. You have all of the reflections around you willing to aid you. If you believe that you could create community, you can. If you believe that you can create a life for yourself, utilizing the tools that surround you, you can. Humans and animals, plants and minerals, all elements have been doing this since this world was created. They did not need a gold and silver or a paper to give them this permission.
Okay, so it's fair to say that Tara and I are headed down the right track. We still go into town for some supplies, but we are moving towards sovereignty in this community where we know our neighbors and we work together. There's one over there you can't see. So is that a fair thing to say?
Yes, even if they came now and tried to sink your ship, destroy your home, you have all you need to create it all over again. You have community, your family. They are your family come together to create. If their homes are destroyed, it would only strengthen that community.
And these snakes are so far into the cube that they don't care about free will violations.
Correct.
Wow. And the conspiracy theories about the boat being swapped, why do those rise up?
Because many believe that there is something wrong with the story. And so using the ego mind to try and rationalize what could have occurred It only makes sense. It is understandable. But at the core of it, they know something is wrong.
My intuition states that this video will be heavily censored and not seen by many. Would that be an accurate statement, or am I just creating that reality by speaking it aloud?
You always create your reality. Those who are ready to hear this particular point of view will find it.
Excellent. I'm sorry that you're a victim of the lower polarity, the evil of this 3D cube matrix. But I thank you for speaking with us, and I do love you. You are love. We are love. Do you have any last message for the people before we go?
Yes. You are not sinkable. No matter what images or stories they feed you, no matter how many structures you see fall to the ground, you are indestructible.
Whew, fantastic. It never amazes me how far evil can take things here in this matrix. Wait, did I say that right? It never ceases to amaze me. How do you feel about that? You remember it?
Good, yeah. I remember it. It's just always interesting when it's an object. You know, it's like kind of sort of got consciousness, and it's like not a... But yeah, it seemed like it wasn't really like the object speaking, but the energy of the people speaking together as the object. You know, is kind of what it was. And maybe that's what it was, maybe with the Twin Towers, you know, as well. But yeah, it's like a kind of consciousness that all the people, and like not just the people that died, but everybody that built it, everybody who is interested in like the Titanic, like all of the energy has been poured into it. And so it's like all coming together, like our voice is speaking as one voice, and it comes off as like the Titanic speaking.
Well, I mean, I just want to say that once you find your sovereignty, at least a little bit, and start to put the power into yourself, things just align. This property was not that hard to, I mean, in 3D, you would say, oh my goodness, everything just lined up magically. So for that reason, I would say it wasn't that hard to come out here and live off grid. But if we had no sovereignty, it would never have happened.
Yes, I would say that before I had really started doing a lot of healing, like if you took a really, really unhealed me and put me here, I don't think, number one, we would have gotten this place, you know, you either. Like, so yeah. There was a lot that had to occur to find parts of our sovereignty so that we could truly continue to solidify that sovereignty.
And really question, where are you putting your sovereignty? Is it into the police, the firemen, the grocery store? Is it into the government to pave your roads? We all have sovereignty, every single one of us, and we're all choosing to put it somewhere. So in order to put yourself into this type of situation, right, you need to start withdrawing your sovereignty from the governments and all the services they provide, and start putting it into yourself. I can grow things, I can build things. Yeah,
it's the community here that maintains our roads. The city doesn't do it.
Yeah.
The state doesn't do it. We're all out here because we have to rely on each other, you know, out here. And everybody here that lasts basically is sovereign.
And they're so happy because they're free.
It's like I don't have to, you know, wait for the power company to turn my power back on, or they shut off the gas, or, you know, this or that. Everybody's just helping each other. If somebody's struggling, we have people who give out food and stuff, you know. It's like whatever you have, we just share it amongst each other. It's very very nice.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Yes. I was once a very, very city girl, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. If you guys are, you know, whatever it is you're doing to work on sovereignty, what does your healing look like? Those of you that are trying to move away from, having others govern your life. What does that look like? What are your thoughts on it? In general, we'd love to hear from you. And also, what did you think about the Titanic?
Yeah.
Speaking.
And you also put the World Trade Center video in the cards.
Yes, definitely go check that out as well. That was interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys for all of the suggestions. We did have a few subscribers that did suggest channeling the Titanic. So thank you for that. Keep those suggestions coming.
And if you want a channeling of your own.
Yes, I have one-on-one direct channelings. Basically, you are in the role of James and you talk to whatever entity it is that you want to speak to.
And we want to thank everyone who's gotten a private channeling with us, because it's just been so rewarding to help people get in touch with their higher selves or whoever they want to channel. And we learn a lot from it. So it's very symbiotic growth period when we do those channelings.
Yes, and a lot of them have been higher selves. So to learn all these things from all your different higher selves, amazeballs.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. So thank you for everyone who's gotten a channeling with us.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. And we will catch you next Monday then.
Bye.
Bye.